She thought love would protect her, but sometimes the same hands that once held you gently can also be the ones that break you quietly. This is Maya's story. A woman who loved deeply, prayed sincerely, and still found herself fighting to survive the very thing she thought was love. And in the dim light of the kitchen, Maya stood barefoot on the cold tiles, staring at her reflection in the small window above the sink. The rain tapped against the tin roof like a warning no one wanted to hear. The storm outside had nothing on the one that was brewing in her chest. She clutched her phone, scrolling through the last message he sent. "We need to talk. Don't make me come to you." Her stomach twisted. Those words were not new. They were familiar, predictable, and heavy with unspoken threats. She had heard that tone before, felt it in the way her heart jumped at the sound of his car engine, in the way her body tensed when footsteps echoed down the hallway. Maya wasn't always afraid. She once believed in him, in love's ability to heal broken things. But love can be a master of disguise. It can show up with roses in one hand and a fist of control in the other. The rain grew louder. The kettle whistled and she turned it off, her hands trembling. She whispered, almost to herself. He said he had changed, but deep down she knew. Change without accountability is just a different mask. And there it was, a sharp, hurried knock at the door. Maya froze. Another knock, harder this time. "Open the door, Maya." His voice was muffled but sharp, cutting through the sound of the rain. She backed away slowly, her mind raced. Should she open it? Should she run? Her heart screamed, "Run!" But fear whispered, "Maybe this time will be different." She reached for her phone, dialing her sister, but before the call connected, the door shook under the weight of his fist. "Why are you ignoring me?" he shouted. Tears streamed down her face. "Because I'm tired," she whispered. "I'm just tired." He finally forced his way in. The smell of rain and anger filled the air. His clothes were soaked, but his eyes burnt with something darker than the storm outside. "Who were you talking to?" he demanded. Maya stepped back, her voice trembling. "You cannot keep doing this. I need space." "Space?" He laughed bitterly. "After everything I've done for you?" She shook her head, a tear rolled down her cheek. "You didn't do anything for me. You tried to own me." For a moment, there was silence. Then the crash of a cup shattering. She could hardly breathe. Her whole body went numb. That was the moment she knew this wasn't love anymore. It never really was. Hours later, long after the shouting stopped, Maya stood at the edge of the road, her suitcase in hand, her body trembling, but her spirit still fighting. The early morning light touched the wet pavement, painting everything gold, like the world itself was whispering, "You made it." She didn't know where she was going yet, but she knew that she was never going back. Then a car pulled up. The driver was an old woman with kind eyes. She leaned out. "You all right, sweetheart?" Maya hesitated, then nodded, though tears rolled freely down her cheeks. The woman smiled softly. "Hop in. Let's get you safe." Maya took one last look at the house, the walls that held her silence, the floors that soaked her tears. She whispered to herself, "No more, no more." Weeks later, Maya sat in a small support group listening to other women share their stories. She realized her story wasn't very unique, and that was the painful truth. Too many hearts get trapped in the same cycle: fear, forgiveness, false hope. She raised her hand to speak, her voice trembling, but steady enough to carry the truth. "When you love someone who hurts you," she began, "it's like being in a house that is slowly burning down, but you keep saying, 'It's fine. This is just what love feels like,' until you realize you're choking on the very thing you're trying to save." Her eyes grew bright as she paused. "You start believing that pain is part of love, That if you can just hold on a little longer, maybe the fire will die down and you'll both walk out whole together. She shook her head gently, as if shaken off years of confusion. But love doesn't suffocate you. It's not supposed to. It doesn't make you smaller, quieter, or afraid to breathe. Real love protects, it builds, it covers, it heals. It doesn't burn you to ashes and then call it devotion. Her words hung heavy in the air, not bitter, but free. They carried the weight of someone who had once mistaken survival for loyalty and finally realized love that destroys isn't love at all. Around her, heads nodded. Some women wept quietly. Maya smiled faintly. If you feel afraid, that's your sign. You don't have to wait for permission to be safe. Maya's story isn't about weakness, it's about awakening. It's about realizing that fear and love cannot share the same room. No one deserves to live with their heart in a constant state of alarm. If someone's love demands your silence, your fear, or your disappearance, it's not love, it's control wrapped in affection. And while it's never easy to walk away, every woman who does is lighting the path for someone else to find their way out. For the first time in years, Maya was not waiting for the next storm. She was learning to breathe again, learning that peace doesn't always come with answers. Sometimes it comes when you simply choose yourself. Subsequently, she opened her worn out Bible and her eyes landed on this verse. In Isaiah 41 and verse 10, it says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not anxious, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. I will help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." So it's saying, don't be afraid. God is with you. He is with us. When fear tries to hold you down, remember, He is your strength, your help, and your protection. Even in the darkest moments, God's righteous hand upholds you, giving you courage, peace, and the power to walk forward, to walk free. You are never alone, and you are never without hope. Tears welled up in her eyes, not of sorrow, but release. For so long, Maya believed she was weak for leaving. Now she knew the truth. She was actually strong because she finally had the courage to walk away. So if you have ever found yourself trapped in a love that hurt more than it healed, remember, you are not alone and you are not broken, you are rebuilding. So drop a comment below if this story spoke to your heart or if you're on your journey of rediscovering peace after pain. Share this video with a sister or a friend who needs a reminder that she deserves safety, she deserves respect, and a love that brings her closer to God, not further away. And don't forget to subscribe, please, for more stories of healing, faith, and rediscovering your worth after walking through the fire. Because no woman should have to survive in silence. And together we can break that cycle, one story at a time. See you in the next video.